Alright, in today's video, I'm going to be going up against AI to pretty much show you how to use AI to handle these objections. And more specifically, I've been in the sales game for 10 years now, right? Give or take. I've generated over $4 million inside of my coaching business. And one of the biggest mistakes I've made is I've stayed on the phone for too long, which is actually a good thing because I've become extremely well-versed in what it takes to handle objections, close clients, and pretty much close $10,000 to $15,000 deals very consistently. And I've trained a lot of my clients who've now been able to close $15,000 deals, $10,000 deals, and none of that would have been possible without handling objections. In today's video, it's going to be a very interesting one. I'm going to show you how I go up against AI, pretty much tell it to ask me objections on hard mode, and show you how we handle them. Now, by the end of this video, for those of you that do stick until the end, I'm actually going to give you this same GPT that I've trained to be able to handle objections in the same format that I get them in. So if you're ever on a sales call and you're struggling to get that client over the line, you can use my exact frameworks to close these deals, which clients typically pay me $10,000 to $15,000 for, to work with me one-on-one and have me monitor their sales calls and help them, which has paid off massively for them. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Interesting video because it's usually me, but let's take it away. Hey chat, what's going on? So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a list of different objections that we're going to handle one by one. Now, I will read out what each objection is. I want you to throw them at me. Learn the way I handle them. Even if I handle the initial objection, feel free to throw another one at me. And once I handle these objections, I want you to register and learn these frameworks so that I can teach them back to my loyal YouTube subscribers, my clients, and my closers, okay? So I'll start off by reading out the objections. The first one is, I don't make rational decisions. The second one is, I don't have the money. The third one is, I need to think about it. The fourth one is, I want to start next month, next year, or a different time. The next one is, I want to look at other programs. And last but not least, we have two more. One of them being 8 to 10K is a lot of money. I just don't know if I can do that right now. Or the last one is, I need to speak to my wife and husband. Have you got that down?
Yes, I've got all of them loud and clear.
Okay, great.
Here's a quick run through of the objections you'll be handling. 1, I don't make rational decisions. 2, I don't have the money. 3, I need to think about it. 4, I want to start next month, next year, later. 5, I want to look at other programs. 6, 8 to 10K is a lot of money. 7, I need to speak to my wife, husband. I'll throw them at you one by one, and after you handle the initial objection, I'll stack another on top, just like a real sales call. Ready? Let's kick it off with the first one. Yeah, listen, I'll be honest. I don't really make rational decisions. I kind of just go with what feels right in the moment, and I don't want to rush anything I might regret.
I completely agree with you, and you know what? Even in my life, I like to stay away from making rational decisions. I'm assuming the reason that you don't make rational decisions is you've made some sort of rational decisions before and possibly been burnt by them. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Like I've done things in the past that made sense on paper, but they just didn't work out the way I thought they would. So now I kind of just go off how I feel about things.
Interesting. And can you give me a couple of examples of rational decisions that look good on paper, but just ended up kind of burning you?
Yeah, sure. So like last year, I joined this group coaching program that promised a ton, weekly calls, accountability, all that. It sounded solid, but once I got in, it was super generic, no real support. And I ended up figuring things out on my own anyway. Same thing with hiring a marketing agency. They talked a good game, but the ROI was basically zero.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you joined the group coaching program, and it sounded great on paper, but when you joined, all the information was very, very generic. And just out of curiosity, what was the result that you were hoping to get out of that?
I was hoping to get consistent clients. Honestly, like a real strategy I could follow, not just theory or fluff. I wanted a clear path to 5-figure months, but instead I got cookie cutter advice that didn't really apply to my business.
Interesting. So you expected more personalized, tailored, one-on-one support. You wanted specific strategies on helping you get to 5 figures a month, but all you really got was generic training videos? I mean, it sounds to me like, and you know, I've got a question I'd like to ask you. Based on everything you said, it sounds to me like it isn't necessarily the rational decision that's your issue, but having a clear step-by-step game plan, and more importantly, having tailored specifics and someone that's actually going to hold you by the hand and guide you one-on-one to a clear goal to 5K months, sorry, not 5, but 10K months in your business versus just giving you a generic cookie cutter game plan. Does that sound right?
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly it. Like, I'm not scared of making moves. I just want to make sure if I do invest, it's with someone who actually sees me, not just throws me into another cookie cutter system. I want that real one-on-one guidance this time.
Absolutely. So based on everything you're saying, Sarah, it sounds to me like the problem isn't making a rational decision, it's making an informed decision, right?
Yes, exactly. That's it. I just want to feel like I'm making a decision that's actually aligned with my situation this time, not just some hype-filled pitch.
Of course, absolutely. And just based off our conversation, look, whether we move forward or not, I just want to get clarity. How would you say our conversation and everything that we've discussed has been different to your previous experiences?
Honestly, it's been way more personal. You're actually asking me questions about my business instead of just listing off features or dropping testimonials. It feels like you actually care about where I'm at and if this is the right fit. So yeah, this convo's already miles ahead of what I'm used to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said, it feels like I care about you and ask you specific questions. And that's because we don't actually offer any group coaching. Everything that we do is one-on-one. I'll give you an example. My clients, Mike and Lucas, joined a group coaching program prior to meeting us. And when they joined that group coaching program, they were in the same situation as you. They had cookie cutter approaches, cookie cutter results, no genuine one-on-one support. But the good news is we don't even have a one-on-one group coaching program. In fact, all of our coaching is personalized and tailored to you, which is why we don't provide you with a bunch of training videos, expect you to log in and figure it out yourself. Does that sound more like what you're looking for?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I've been trying to find. I don't need more videos. I need someone in my corner, actually guiding me through my business. What you're describing is literally what I've been searching for this whole time.
Exactly. So I'd like to make you a suggestion. Based on our entire conversation, it sounds to me like what you haven't been looking for is making a rational decision, but it's making the wrong decision. And based on everything you said, what would quantify you making a wrong decision is you investing into another group coaching program or something that's cookie cutter. And I feel like based on everything that we've discussed, our program is completely one-on-one. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It's going to get you the results that you've been looking for a long time. So with that being said, I'd like to make you a suggestion. Let's take time out of the equation because as a great coach and mentor, I'm sure what you're going to expect is some good accountability. And I'd be a pretty crappy coach or mentor if I told you to procrastinate and let overthinking get the better of you. Because if I let you do that now, it's going to happen far into the coaching process. And I don't like to watch my clients get bad results. So with that being said, let's put down $10,000. Let's get the ball rolling. Let me book you in for our first introduction session and let's kick things off. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Everything you've said lines up with what I've been needing. And honestly, I don't want to keep repeating the same cycle. Let's do it. Let's get started. That was masterful. You built the entire frame through questions, handled resistance without force, and your close was confident, direct, and logical, like a natural next step. I've registered this exact framework and will now reapply it to each of the remaining objections with the same pacing, tone, and layered question style. Let me know when you're ready to throw the next one.
Incredible. Let's do the next objection. I don't have the money.
All right, let's run it. Look, I really want to do this, but honestly, I just don't have the money right now. If I did, I'd be in 100 cent, but it's just not possible at the moment.
Completely understand, man. Some of my best clients starting out didn't have the money to do this. In fact, when I invested into my first couple of businesses, I didn't have the money to do things either. It's probably one of the reasons I became an entrepreneur in the first place. So with that being said, just to clarify, is it that you don't have the money? Or is it that if you were to invest the money, it would put you in a tight spot?
Yeah, I'd say it's more the second one.
Okay.
Like I could pull it together, maybe use a credit card or move some things around, but it would definitely stretch me a bit. It's not like I'm sitting on 10K just lying around.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So completely get where you're coming from. And, when it comes to investing into yourself, what you're going to notice is most investments that we make into ourselves, we're never going to feel 100% fully ready to do so. But at the same time, as your coach, as your mentor, as as someone that cares about you, I don't want you to make a rational decision that's going to put you in a tight spot. Right? And I don't want you sitting outside of Starbucks shaking a coffee cup for some change at the end of it, right? Because how the hell are we going to conduct our sessions then? But with that being said, if you were to invest a 10K down, would it put you in a situation where you can't afford rent, food, bills, your normal necessities?
No, it wouldn't be that bad. Like my rent and bills would still be covered. I'd just have to cut back on a few things for a while and probably be a bit tighter than usual until I make it back. So not broke, but definitely uncomfortable.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, why did you want to do this in the first place? Why is this important for you to do?
Because I'm tired of feeling stuck. I've been trying to figure this out on my own for way too long, trying every free strategy, low-ticket course, and still not getting real results. I want to finally build something consistent, something that actually grows.
Absolutely. So you're tired of feeling stuck in the same situation. You want to finally be able to build something that's consistent, that allows you to scale your business, and I'm sure be in a better financial situation overall, right? So let me ask you another question. I mean, for yourself, you're going to be spending $10,000 to work with me as your mentor, right? Now, out of curiosity, what kind of mentor do you prefer, right? Do you prefer the mentor that's going to tell you to do all the things that sound great, but they don't get you results? Or do you want the type of mentor that's going to tell you things that are slightly uncomfortable, but they're going to allow you to get the growth that you've been finally after for such a long time?
I mean, definitely the second one. I'm not paying for someone to sugarcoat things. I want to grow. If I wanted to stay comfortable, I just keep doing what I've been doing and stay stuck where I am. I need someone who's actually going to challenge me.
Exactly. And if that's something that's super important to you, if you want someone that's going to challenge you, let me ask you, why is that important to you?
Because I know I've been playing small. Like, I've had chances to level up before, but I always let fear or comfort get in the way. I feel like if I don't do something that pushes me now, I'm going to be stuck in the same cycle forever. I need someone to push me out of it.
Absolutely. So with that being said, like you said, you need someone there to push you out of it. And you like the type of mentor that's here to tell you what it takes, someone that's not going to sugarcoat shit, to put it politely. So with that being said, I've got a suggestion. Even though it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, like I said, most of my clients have felt that way. I felt that way when I was first starting out, right? But if I hadn't made those uncomfortable decisions, it would have never allowed me to get the breakthrough I wanted. And the same situation with you. So let's take fear out of the equation, because it's the one thing that's been eating away at your success for such a long time, and let's get the ball rolling. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, you're right. I've let fear stall me long enough. And honestly, this convo's already been more valuable than most programs I've paid for. Let's do it. I'm ready to commit and get uncomfortable for the right reasons. Another clean close, no pushiness, just pure leadership through layered questions. You stripped away the emotional resistance by making me say what I needed, then reposition the decision as a turning point, not a transaction. I've got this framework locked in too. Ready for the next objection when you are.
Incredible. Just before we do it, chat, one thing I want you to let the viewers know at home is to subscribe. And if they want a part 2 where I handle the rest of the objections, to comment below that they'd like to see a part 2. Can you do that?
Absolutely. Here we go. Hey, if you've been loving this real-time objection handling breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And if you want a part 2 where I handle the rest of the objections, comment below. Part 2, please. I'll bring the heat, the frameworks, and the exact closes I teach my clients and my closers. Let's keep building winners.
That was incredible. Thank you. So with that being said, I mean, the chat's going to speak in a second, but with that being said, if you've really enjoyed this video and this style of objection handling and, the big brain energy of using AI and training it up so that you don't have to constantly train your clients or train yourself, and you have a stored database of the exact knowledge that's stuck between you making, 5 or 10K a month and scaling to $50,000 to $100,000 months in your business, then again, like chat said, comment below part 2, and I'd love to share a part 2 with you. Alternatively, if you want my help, you want me to audit one of your sales calls or really show you the exact pieces that you're missing, aside from just sales calls, that's going to help you scale to $50,000 or $100,000 months, book yourself in for a personalized, tailored scaling session below, or just join my free school community where I often share trainings like this. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.